So I know I'm terrible at making videos, but these things just need to be said. This episode, this entire season of The Walking Dead is some of the poorest content that I've seen on television since Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode 23. I've watched this show with my friends and family for the past 3 seasons, and I was watching on my own before that. I've always really liked the show, and although my camera is broken at the moment, I'm actually wearing a Walking Dead t-shirt as we speak. But tonight's episode was just so bad, I'm considering after everything not watching season 7 at all. This entire season was one giant filler full of cliffhangers and meaningless character deaths. One question that kept us fans of the comics guessing with enthusiasm was, who will Negan kill? Now, from the beginning of the season, I thought the famous scene would take place in the first half of season 7. Like, we may get another character death before that, but I was proven wrong, along with everyone else. Absolutely no one died. No one died before, and no one died in this finale either. I'd be okay with this if it wasn't for how this episode ended. More on that in a minute, but first let me give you my synopsis of the episode. This episode's plot consisted of, Ricky and the boys trying to haul a pregnant Maggie to Hilltop, but while they were on their way, they were stopped by Stephen Ogg, the dude from Grand Theft Auto 5, along with 5 other guys. They soon find out that these guys are saviors, and decide not to kill him, and turn the RV around to look for an alternate path. The first commercial starts here. We come back, and we see this black screen with light shining through. Just when you think something interesting will happen, perhaps Daryl finding out where he and his friends have been taken, it cuts back to Rick. They have some filler dialogue, and get stopped by more saviors. Another commercial happens. This goes on for, I kid you not, an hour and a half. You'll see the dark room, Rick gets stopped by the saviors, and then more commercials. Finally, they get surrounded, and Eugene makes a heroic sacrifice to drive the RV, while the others escape into the forest. Of course, things go wrong, and they all end up getting caught. So after 10 more minutes of commercials, we finally get to meet the man of the hour, or hour and a half in this case, Negan, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He goes through a lecture about Rick killing all his dudes, and then he says he's got to kill one of his dudes, so that the dudes can do the do. He childishly says, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, for what seems like an eternity, and then the screen cuts to black, and a cheesy blood effect is shown on the screen. We won't find out who dies until October, and I, and everyone else who watches, will have lost interest by that time. This was a bad decision after a season of bad decisions. This is the same channel that brought us Breaking Bad, and in turn Better Call Saul, which I believe is a much better use of your time. I won't let this turn into a review of that show, but I will say, as much as I hated the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, I think season 6 of The Walking Dead may just be worse. It's possible that they haven't even decided who will die yet. If that's true, it's lazy and unprofessional writing. What I would like to do is stop watching the series and binge watch the last few seasons after it's over, which will likely not be too long from now. The only possible redeeming factor of this episode, and again, really this whole season, was Eugene and Abraham's hilarious dim-witted dialogue. I don't make videos often, but since I'll no doubt continue watching this show until it's buried in the ground, no pun intended, if this video is in any way a success, there are possible reviews/rants in the future. Special thanks to my bud Sleezus for making this hilarious image of Scott Pimple getting his head smashed by Negan. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.